I'm going to say hello, everyone, and thank you for being with us here tonight for another episode of Watch, Learn, and Create. And tonight is Miss Lydia Steeves.
Hi, everybody. We're going to the beach. We're going to the beach today.
We're going to go to the beach and hang out with the bird.
Hang out with the birds.
Now these types of birds, are those they find their food in the water, right? I don't know. There was this bird I saw. I was at some bridge somewhere between New Hampshire and Maine, and there was this bird that would fly around above the water and then nosedive at great speeds into
Oh,
the water and then
uh,
come up. And I'm like, I wonder what that is.
well, no, I don't think that's one of these little guys.
Okay.
I think they run along the edge of the yeah,
Beach?
they run along the edge of the beach there.
Mm-hmm.
Insects, worms, mollusks, spiders, that kind of stuff. So
And
that's
that's why
not,
they got long beaks, long
yeah.
skinny beaks to get the mm-hmm, uh-huh. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That's why I wonder. I wondered, but that's good. But you did an awesome job of rendering him, and we can talk about the frame after. And
Yeah, sure, we can do that because this was one of the little projects from for your last year's art retreat.
yeah,
And yeah, because so there was an extra fun element to it,
right,
not just a regular critter square. Yeah. Yeah.
right. It's yeah, because it's like playing with a different medium that maybe people have never done before.
Yeah.
And that's what the Artful Affair is all about, is introducing something to play with that no one has either done before, or they haven't done it in a long time, or they've always wanted to, know what that product does or that brush does. And this is a way to play with it and have fun. And everyone had a great time, and everyone's came out awesome.
Yeah, and it just adds that little extra bit because it was just a pretty basic little frame and then yeah, it's really kind of cool.
Yeah, because I mean, I suppose in the past, I mean, people have stenciled frames, people have done little, extra stuff on the side, wooden trinkety things, but this was something that they hadn't done. So, anyways, I thought it worked out good. I love it. I'm going to do some more when I retire.
When
We don't know when that is because y'all don't want me to retire. So I guess
you
I'm not retiring yet.
go to the bitter end.
Yeah, right, right.
The definition of a
And
decorative painter is
I'll
go to
be
the
I'll be monitoring webinars in my bed, when I'm bedridden. I don't know. It'll be fun. It's another adventure, but yeah, I want to do more of it, and I have a lot of ideas, and there's other ways than just the one way we did it. And we haven't touched base on that. And I was thinking about maybe bringing that back at this Artful Affair in May. So that might be something we do. But again, I have a lot of ideas in here. I just can't get them out.
I think that's just the definition of us too, right? Is that we always have like 1,000 ideas and yeah, but they pop out and they get done as they do.
Or you forget about them and say, I used to have
Mhm.
a really good idea. I know I had a really good idea because it was a really good one. But what was it? I don't.
You're supposed to write them down, isn't that what
I'm
it?
and I've got about five notebooks here, all with, one for how to get live on Facebook, and one for how to do Final Cut Pro, and another one for the convention, and another one for the affair, and any other committee I volunteer for. So it's crazy. And then I got to say, which one are you? Oh no, you're not the one I'm looking for.
Well, there's so many nice little journals and little books too that you want to buy them.
Did I ever tell you the one I got? I got a surprise Happy Mail. I got a
Oh,
journal
that's pretty.
in the mail out of the blue, totally out of the blue. Didn't order it, didn't expect it, didn't
It's
anything.
gorgeous. It's
And I
gorgeous.
got this journal, and with it came a note, and it was from Louise Jackson.
I was gonna say it looks like Louise Jackson. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And she was thanking me. Yeah, well, her name's right on the bottom.
Yep, there it is. It's
So
beautiful.
I was like, I hadn't talked to her in a while. I hadn't, it was out of the blue, totally out of the blue. So that was just so sweet. And I don't know if it was her daughter sent it to me or what, but yeah, it was so sweet. So let's see who's with us. I just want to
Yeah.
thank
Well,
everybody who is here for being here tonight with us. Um, let's see. We have Charmaine and Debbie and Brenda and Linda. So thank you so much for being here. Lydia, what can I use for powder, powder dew? No, powder blue. What can she use for powder blue?
oh, any one of those light blues will work. Let's see. Cloud blue was nice. Yeah, I use cloud blue. What's this one? Blue Nuage, that's cloud blue. I have sky blue light would also work. So you've got two choices
And Judy's here too. Woohoo! Now we can start.
there. All right then,
No,
let's
thank
go.
you. Thank you all for being here and taking time out of your day to watch this presentation. I don't think you'll be disappointed in the least, never disappointed with Lydia.
Oh, thanks.
And yeah, and we're going to touch on something different and afterwards, after she's done with the Piper. And if you are watching the replays, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this replay. If you have a question and we are live, you can put it in the comments and I will relay that question for you. If you are watching the replay or after the fact, you can also ask your question. Just make sure you put an @ in front of the L in Lydia, and she will be notified that there's a question for her to answer. And you can get this pattern packet on lydiasteeves.com.
Yep.
Is it under Critter Squares?
It's under, I did put it under Critter Squares, yes,
Okay.
because it's still the same four
It's
by
a
four,
yeah.
4 by 4, I believe. Yep, it's 4 by 4.
So you can find it there. If not, you can always email her and she'll help you find it. But yeah, the also the link to find it is in the events file. I will have this pinned to the top of Facebook and for people to watch for 30 days, as that is all that Facebook allows us. But as soon as this is over, I will download it and then I will go post it over in the YouTube channel. And I believe that is, I can look it up and put the thing, but I believe it's Cindy here, Artfully Connected. I think, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like,
know. Don't ask me.
I should have it
I
right
always
up
have to.
and ready for me, but
Yeah,
do you
that you
think I
should
do
do
that?
that so that we can find it because I have to search
It's
around all the time.
so it is youtube.com/@ artfully connected. So I can put that in the chat in the comments so everybody can see that. Um, so that is the YouTube channel where you can find her other Watch, Learn, and Creates. There'll be some there from other artists in the past that have done Watch, Learn, and Creates. And you can watch those to your heart's content over and over, start, stop, replay, all the good stuff. So there you have it. The video and audio breaking up. I don't know what to say. It could be weather. It could be the internet. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'll put a sad face because that makes me sad.
Yeah, it's annoying when that happens,
Yeah.
but I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. I don't think it's within
Why?
your
Why
capability.
is every time they artfully connected? Okay. Um, I think that Facebook tries to be intuitive
Oh,
and they put words in your mouth that
Yeah.
you don't want.
Yes. Yeah. They haven't got a clue of what you
They
think, what we're
they
gonna say.
create they create links that you don't want. Um, oh, Judy says the breaking up is on iPad, but not on iPhone. You know how we were having problems with guides? Guides didn't work on these
Something.
devices, but worked on those. So thank you,
Not
Judy, for
not playing well with others.
right, right. Yes. And that just really ruins the whole, you know,
Fun. Yeah, the fun of it.
experience. Yeah, the whole experience. But you have about 21 eyes watching you.
Hey,
And so,
it's
hey,
time.
Sandy. So we shall say thank you so much for sharing your talents with us once again. Everybody, we're going to watch the Sandpiper first, then we'll talk about the frame after she's done. Take it away.
Hey. Yeah. So we did a little pan pastel background just to get that look of the sea. And this one's a little bit browner, that one's a little bit bluer, but it's basically the same sort of thing. And I did use both the Verithin and the Pablo whites just to get this shimmering. You can just press harder on these. The Prismacolor has more pigment, but these get a crisper line. So if you can't find the Verithin for this first step, you could, I think, you could put it just with a stylus and you could just impress in a little dent. But I happen to have a bunch of these, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to start off. So we're just going to mark out the white wing markings. So you see how they've got the little wing edges. And we'll start off with photo 1. So you will just come along here, and I'm just going just beside my transfer paper line so that I don't go right on top of the gray, because of course it's not going to cover. And you're just going to try to get some of these little lines. They might not be exactly the same because that's just the way they are. There's like a lot of little lines in there. But this is a fun one to get. And then you get a couple of these ones that come down, and we'll end up coloring in this white black bar. And then we want to have a couple come down this way. And then this here is a little bit of a tail peeking out. So there's that fun sideways one. And a couple of little guys. All right. So we've got the wing markings, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to put in a few scallop lines. Keep some space between these lines. And again, you'll notice that I'm above this transfer line here. Don't go on top. It'll just turn gray. And that means that we will also not be able to get rid of it later if you feel like. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting in a couple here. And they're scallops, but they're not like really sort of in your face shapes. Let's see. And then maybe just a couple down here. And they might disappear too, and we might have to come back and get them again. There. Right. And you could stay with the Verithin if you so desire, if you only have one. But I'm changing to my Pablo. It's a little bit softer than the Verithin. And maybe a little bit more pigment again. So every time you get a harder pencil, you lose pigment. It's the same with pastels. If they're harder, then they have less pigment. Okay, and I'm going around the edge, trying to get a little bit of, not super fluff, but a little something. Okay, and then make sure that you're curving around. Okay, so it is an outline, but it doesn't look, it's not exactly the same all the way around. You want to have some long ones and you want to have some short ones. And then we are going to put this feather fluff of the belly in front of the wings. Gets a little confusing in about this area, so you'll just do the best you can. And I think I'm going to do, I just really like this look. So I'm going to do the edge of the head, or at this neck edge. Really make sure you change that direction as you go around. Okay. I might sharpen. You don't think they need to be sharpened. Sometimes it's just better if you do. So I'm going to get the eyebrows here. And we'll see. So there's this neck edge I put in, but then there's sort of stripes coming up. And maybe you can put a few of those into, maybe 2 stripes up the cheek. Really keep an eye on that feather direction. If you can't get 2 in, that's fine. Don't force it. Okay, I think that's probably enough of that. Let's get black. And we'll color in the eyes. Now, quite often on a bird, we make them quite round, but we're looking at him. So they're more of an almond shape. We'll go with round and then a little something in the front and the back to get it to be more of an almond shape. Okay, so a little something in the front and then a little triangle at the back. And of course, you'll try to make them pretty much the same. And then we're going to color in the beak. So there's a darkness down the middle. Don't press too hard because you want to press a little bit harder to get a couple of nostrils, and you want to be able to see the difference. Okay, so I got nostrils and I have some black. Just very, very light on the actual beak. Always go darker in a little bit. Harder to take it away. And we'll get out our light umber and we'll also get out our dark umber and we will sharpen those up. Because we're going to put in these little tiny markings. And they're fatter at the top and then a little pointed at the bottom. And you'll see they're not all the same size and they're not all the same darkness. And you can always add more later, so don't get crazy and start putting on every single one in. Just put a few in. There's lighter ones and then there's darker ones. So put in some lighter ones here. And then put a couple of dark ones in too. Probably enough. And we will take the dark umber will just color in a little bit in front of the eyes and a little bit behind. And you will put in some little speckles on the head. And then we're going to color in some of these wings, these feathers. And close is good enough here. Just find your way gently.
Lydia,
Yeah. Yes.
is question from Norma. Is
Yeah.
this a Stonehenge? And if
Yeah.
so, what is the weight? Is this
Stonehenge
and if
comes
so,
in,
sorry.
Stonehenge only comes in one weight. And yes, it is, but it's the fawn colored is the color that I've used.
Is there different weights to Stonehenge or is it?
No,
Well,
it just comes in one. If you just buy, yeah. You can get this, just let me back here. You can get this pad that has 5 tone colors, which we've used, and you can use a few of them. And sometimes if you don't have fawn, you can use cream and so on. And there's a couple of warm whites in there too. Often we used fawn a while ago. We've kind of moved over to that crap color a little bit more, just because you can see things a bit better. But the tones are very nice.
Is it possible for you to lift it up on the face to, Marcia would like to see the beak and nostrils for a moment.
Oh, we were talking about paper.
Yeah, that was a different, you answered that question.
Right. It got to give me a little time here.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're back to coloring in these little wing feathery bits. And we are putting in a few speckles on the face and head. All right, I think that looks pretty good for the first part of all the markings and that kind of stuff. You can make yourself really crazy um, with sometimes with some of these birds. So just as long as you've got things kind of going in the right direction, it should all come together. Let's go back to the light umber. And we're going to color a bit of the ground, just like a curly stroke and around the foot. Just to kind of ground. I don't know if this is a boy or a girl. There we go. And then we'll go back to the dark umber and we're going to color in the leg. Now we do need to keep this leg skinny and straight. And then we'll swing left and right and put in the actual little toes. But you're not going to make them like he's sitting in the sand. So there's only a little bit showing. They're quite big. They're big feet. I guess it makes sure that they don't sink in. And that's light peach is next. And grade lavender. And we will need that light umber again as well. So we're going to take this light peach and we're going to color in the belly. Not making little strokes like we did with those other ones, but we're just coloring them in. And you can go over top of the white. So your strokes are, oh, I got a little tiny bit of something there that needs to be white. This is the under part of his little tail. And let's see, I think this bar, we could put that in now too, just so that we know where it is. So I'm using that Pablo white just for now. Now, looks like we're gonna have to do a little something there, but that's nicer. Back to the light peach. We're going to color in the belly. And we will color it all the way across, even though we're going to do something else on the very right. And then we're going to just do the cheeks here, because they're going to be white. Oh, we have to come back up and put a few more little white lines up on the head. All right. So we're coloring anything that's going to end up being pretty much white at the end. So the belly and these little cheeks. And then we're going to take this grade lavender and we're going to color the right side, shadowed side of our belly. And this is, I thought this was pretty cool actually, to have this shadowy side here. It's not a super strong color, but then it's a white belly, so we don't really want it to be flaming purple. Okay, and we're back to our Pablo white, and we'll put a few more little lines. So I think we've got something everywhere now. And we're going to use the OMS. And we're going to put the OMS on our brush. Every place. And you don't have to worry too much about colors going all over the place. We don't really have that much pigment on here anyways, and these guys don't run that much. And so when your brush is almost out, you can come down and just dibby dab. Just dibby dab that leg. And I've got a 0 and a 0, 0 moon scrub. Just rub. So start with the belly, then go to the cheeks, then the head, wipe your brush, and then come to these wings back here. Okay, and then take your 0, 0, and you can rub the leg, and you can rub the beak. Ah, he's cute already. Wipe off your brushes and keep them at least a little bit clean. So we don't have any surprises. So we're going to take our light peach again, and we are going to highlight the left side of this leg. Okay, so just bring it down here, down to the middle toe, and then pick it left. Do a similar thing on the beak. We're going to highlight the left side. So come down. And then you'll have to color around the nostril. So you still want that nostril there. So you're coming down. Fade it before you get to the bottom of the beak, and then come up to the left, and then you can have that nostril. And so the whole idea of this piece that I thought was kind of fun is that you have your sunshine side or your evening glow, and you have your shadow. So we're going to do some of that. I'm going to take this sunburst yellow, and we will color over that light peach. And you can bump out into the shadow side. Don't feel like you have to stay just exactly on top. Just a light touch though. It's just a light touch. And you can do that on the beak too, although it's not going to be quite as yellow. And then this left side, you're going to put some of this color on. Right up here. this way. Remember what we were saying? Just lightly, just toning it. This left cheek. You see, I didn't do the whole thing. I stopped before I got to that edge. And then I just take again underneath the neck. And lightly, lightly, lightly bring it down. And, I've got this one here. I can't remember which one I did first, comes down quite a bit. And this one, doesn't come down quite as far. So, it'll work. It'll work. Depends on how you do it. Just very, very lightly. Super light. And I'm actually going to even put some on these wings. And then we're going to intensify the shadow side with periwinkle. And very lightly again, you're just going to take this periwinkle and it's going to go over the braid lavender for the most part. Oh, some little step in here too. And we'll put it on the right side of the cheek, and we'll put some up here on the head. So we've got a yellow side of the bird and we have a blue side of the bird. Now, if you've got some transfer lines here that are going to be annoying, you might want to take your eraser and just maybe take a couple of them off. Oh, they don't all have to come off, but it maybe depends on how you put your pattern on and whether or not you've got some stubborn ones that might prove to be a bit annoying later. I also brought this light umber and put a little bit of shadow, extra shadow along this bottom edge. You're not quite on the edge, just up on the edge. Again, very, very lightly, very, very light. Take the light peach and we're going to, with a very open stroke, kind of scribbles. I guess we could call it scribbles. We're going to get some sand action going here. And again, it's not going to show up really, really with a lot of contrast or anything like that. And there'll be other colors coming in little speckles and things too. And depending on what you've got for your pastel, things might show up a little bit better. If there's a lot of brown down here, this is going to show up a little bit. So just kind of bring it horizontally, and it's just scribbling left and right. I would say still, you see, I still have like a diamond shape, flattened diamond shape, wider at the sides and skinnier or pointier at the front. Okay, that's probably enough of that. Can you put in a little line of white? And I would use either the Pablo or I would use the Layer Thin. Want a little line of white under the eye and a sparkle at the back. Now the sparkle may or may not be showing up with the pencil. And so that's where this jelly roll might come in handy. And just pounce it. All right. I do find this comes in handy for things like that. And I just used it today too on my Christmas in July project. They're pretty easy to find, I think. They don't work great. I mean, you know, they have trouble sticking to where anything is waxy, but they certainly do come in handy for little sparkles and things like that. So we can put a little bit more OMS on. Don't need to put on too much because we have a fair bit on already. Do we need to rub? You can see if you need to rub maybe just a little bit. If you look at your piece and you think, oh my goodness gracious me, that yellow is out of control, you could press off. I don't think it is yet, so don't take off too much because we have other things to come. But if you really think that you've got way too much on there, you could just take your kneaded eraser and just press off a little bit. But it is kind of nice. Like, try not to be afraid of it. Yeah. Just soften a little bit with your brush. Oh, let's get that dark umber again. And take that dark umber and we'll shade down that right side. Okay, I'm just tickling it and finding my way, and it's fatter up here and then it goes down. It gets a little bit fatter at the bottom, kind of comes to the right. Maybe you can, we've all done little feet before. Hopefully you kind of get the idea of what the shape might be. You can always put in a little tiny bit of black up at the top, maybe a little tiny bit down here, just to kind of sink it in a bit. And then we'll take our peach again. And we'll highlight. So that'll tone that yellow just a bit. So we want a little bit of yellow showing and peeking through, but not, you know, not a yellow leg. Although I guess some of these little guys have yellow legs too, but not this guy. Okay. So we've got the umber. We've got some white. This is the dark umber. And we're going to have a look at our wings, and you see how they're like dark at the tips. And as you come up, then there's a bit of yellow. Dark at the tips and come up, and there's the yellow. So pick a few that you think are pretty nice. And darken. Just very gently darken. This is going to be light. I think we've gotten a little carried away with the brown, but okay. But for the most part, they are dark at the bottom and then they kind of lighten up as they get to the top. Of course, there's always one or two that just don't follow the rules. Same thing in here. Make sure that your pencil's sharp though so you can get in between. And if your white is too wide, just give it a little trim. There's this cute one here too, that's the sideways. Let's see, this one's coming up a little bit further. And if you need to put more yellow on, you can just put it on, or you could take your white. So means we're going to have it in our hand anyways to make this white bar. And then you can put that yellow over top of it. So it will be a bit more intense or a little bit brighter if you do it that way, or you can just put the yellow on top, the sunburst yellow. We'll clean up a line or two. And that yellow can go over top of your white as well. So don't feel like the whites have to stay that pure white. Okay, you can just trim the ones, like try to keep that nice little curve on some of these, or maybe you need to adjust one or two, make it a little bit wider or thinner. There we go. I just want a nice little arrangement there to suggest these wings. Okay, and then this, hopefully you got that in. And it shouldn't be pure white. It should have that brown and the yellow in that one as well. All right, so now we need to do something else on the belly. We're just gonna bring that white back, and you could use oh, I have a different one here. Okay, well, I didn't really want that one. I'll just find my regular white, my Prismacolor white. I got all excited because it was a brand new, big, huge, big, huge white pencil. So there. So I've got a Prismacolor white, and I've got this Caran d'Ache white. We are going to start whitening up our belly. And I want to start here on this edge of neck. I'm starting with the Prismacolor white because that's the one that's going to give me the best pigment, like we said before. And then I'm just going to bring up some little lines through the yellow. And maybe I need to break up some of my dark brown as well. Because you want it to be speckled, but not really super in your face. Okay, so you can use your Pablo as well. Like I said, that will give you a crisper line, especially for an edge, might be kind of nice. Make sure that you just, mix and match and change things as you like. I'd like to have it a bit lighter under the eye, but not all the way back because he's going back. So he can't be as bright there as he is here. And we'll brighten up above this eye. Again, right above there, not all the way back. Just kind of, again, add some little white tick, tick, tick lines, calming that yellow, breaking up some of those browns. Just do the same thing here. And this is the shadowy side, so not that it's flaming in the dark kind of thing, but it's a little brighter here, fading as I get out to the edge. Again, just kind of putting some little lines, just tiny lines. Sharpen up your pencil, keep it sharp. Bright over the eye. And curve it around. Not so bright there. Are they coming in about, but he's pretty symmetrical, his face. So just keep doing the same thing with what we did on the other side. Just little tiny tick, 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 tick lines to, you don't have to really calm the blue down the same way you have to calm the yellow down, but we still want the two sides to look relatively the same. Now, one thing we would like to also do is there's a little tiny bit of shoulder feather on this side showing. We'll take that dark umber and maybe pop that in. It's not much. And then while we have this, we are going to put some dark specks on the sand. The hardest part about doing something like this is to keep it natural looking and not not get it to be too polka dotty. There we go. Just some. Just some. Move back to his belly and whitening. So take your right. I don't think I'm pressing really hard. I'm just trying to follow the roundness of his shape. Just And maybe what I'm also trying to do is this white that we put on at the very, very beginning, you still want it to look like it belongs to the bird. So if you look at your bird and you see this white edging and then something else that's happening in the middle, you might have to just work a little bit harder to get that a seamless join. Same with your little scallops. You want to have a little bit showing, but you don't want it to be in your face. So you're putting this white on and working with the colors that you've got on there. You're trying to tone them down and layer, not trying to obliterate what we've done before. We're just trying to work with it. Keep rotating your pencil, thinking about the direction, especially as you're coming around here. Okay, I'm just kind of seesawing my pencil back and forth, making a stroke both ways. Bunch of white over the whole thing. You probably have enough OMS on there now, so we can just make sure our brush is clean, and you can give it a little rub. And you can tell if your transfer lines are going to be annoying about this stage. And if you need to, you can still take them off if you don't think that you can incorporate them into the actual color. Be a little bit more careful on the head because just everything's closer together. Okay. Now, just a matter of tweaking a few things. So I think I would like to put some light peach back on this left-hand side, especially right in this area here where the yellow and the white meet. Yeah, I guess this is white. Again, if you really think that you've got way too much yellow, pull off some. So I would say, I thought I couldn't keep layering the white in here, but I can also just pull off a little bit of the yellow right in here where the two things meet. Just kind of pull it off a little bit. And then there's a soft join. So, okay, so I'll just put some, basically we're going to do everything again. We're going to, well, not the sunburst, but we're going to put this peach on that left side for the most part. And it can go over the blue side. It's just a good color. Light peach is a good color. It can do a lot of things. We'll just keep your debris off. And you've got your periwinkle, you've got your green lavender, which you can put on. Again, I like braid lavender actually. Again, it's just another one of those colors that you don't mixes and matches quite nicely with a lot. And we're going to put a bit more of the periwinkle on here too. Now, every time you do a layer, you're doing a little bit less. You're holding your pressure just a little bit less. Don't go as far, just kind of pick and choose a bit more. Where do you actually want this color? I also put into this palette powder blue. So it's just a blue along the same kind of lines as the grade lavender, like the same value, I guess. The periwinkle can be a bit darker, and then the powder blue can help you blend blue, but not too dark. Now look at your little Tweety bird and make sure that it's not very clearly a half and half bird. So it's not this half is very clearly yellow, this half is very clearly blue. You know, just kind of be a little bit casual. More bit. Now I definitely have a bit of work to do on my specs. And I'm going to do that with light umber. If I want to make them darker, I can. But at least I can get them in and then make that decision. And so maybe some of these I could do a little bit darker, but I'll just plan them out first with the light umber. Ooh. And I'll do the same thing up on the head. Just get those speckly lines going again. Not as many underneath. Okay, so I've got this. Do I like them? I think I like them. So now I'll go with the dark umber and say which one should I do a bit dark? I know I've got a few dark ones on the belly, on the side of him. Be careful with this dark. It can be overpowering so quickly. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time in front of the eye on this marking that's coming down towards the beak. And this eyeliner. All right, now I'm going to try to get some speckles on his head too. They are sort of in a row or in a line, not a super crisp line, but they are in a line. We want to try to keep that. There we go. And I think one more pass of the white. And I'm going to make it a bit whiter right here in the middle. White on this yellow side. And so when you look at your belly, you should see periwinkle and lavender and the cloud blue and peach and all sorts of really beautiful, very pale. They're very, very pale, subtle, but it's really kind of one of those projects that when you look at, a white bird standing on one leg, but then when you look carefully, you can see all these beautiful, beautiful colors. Okay, I'm just taking my Pablo and I'm trying to find my little filthy bits in front here. And do I like this bar? Hmm, I could I could fuss about a bit more so that the bar is not as straight as what I've got it. Now I'll just take a little off the top here and a little bit off the bottom. Okay, that one's all right. And a bit of backlight. Okay, that's pretty cool if you can get that. It's like it's a little bit brighter here and then feeding off to the top of the head. Yeah. Nice to have a bit brighter over the eyes. And brings them forward. And do we like our beak? I think we could highlight our beak just a wee bit on that left side. Make sure you've got your nostrils. That's better. So I put my highlight on and I almost took it all off with the black, but I think that's gonna work. Now on this sand, I use that cream. Still with the scribbly stroke, just put some cream, a bit of a warm, kind of sunset, but not. And yeah, I mean, if you want to put some of your crazy yellow in here too, you can. But be careful. It is the most powerful color I think that we've got. Okay. I think that's it. Now I've got three little guys. I'm thinking that we should do one of those, you know how you see those pictures where you have a whole bunch of them in a row? That would be.
Absolutely. And I have one here too. Oh, this is awesome. Everyone is loving it, loving him, and they are either I didn't ask if anyone was penciling tonight with you, but some people said they would watch and they usually watch first and pencil later, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
In fact, a lot of the times it's kind of better in some ways because you do see things that maybe you're not seeing when you're actually got your head down working like a dog, right?
Absolutely. So I have here, let me do this. So, yep, I have one you had sent me here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so, as you can see, Lydia and I had a lot of fun with the sand art. So basically, like Lydia said, we took just a regular um,
Frame.
frame, wooden frame, and and the thing of it is what I found this out at a scrapbook convention. And there's a gentleman who owns a company called Mud Puddles, and he goes to the scrapbooking convention. And we did sand art on a glass insert to a picture frame. He got it Hobby Lobby, and we did it on a card, a greeting card. And so, um, what he uses this particular technique, there's two techniques, but this one here particularly, he has us put some glue on the frame or whatever we're doing. Because I did her frame too for Sandy Harvey, actually, for her anniversary. I sent her one, and it was a picture frame. It had the word beach on top,
Okay.
the letters for beach that spelled out, and then a stand. And on the stand was a bunch of seashells and sea glass and stuff. And thank you, everyone. And so this glue, I don't know what kind it is. He says it's specifically made for him, but it's very thick. It dries clear and it stays put, kind of like triple thick does. You put it on there and it stays put, but it self levels. And then what we did is we put some sea glass and little miniature seashells on it.
Yeah,
And
those are cute. Those are really cute.
that you
Little
can see.
snail things and little,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we put that at the bottom and then we sprinkled some sand over the rest of it. And we let the sand and sea glass and seashells get absorbed into the glue, harden overnight, and voila, you're done.
Yeah. It's really
Um, yeah, I thought it really added to your beautiful little sandpiper.
a match made in heaven.
I think so. And you had fun doing it too.
I did. It's so stressful for me, but I did it, and I think it looks pretty good. And I really like the whole idea. Well, it's the little turquoise sea glass that really like pulls it all together. But then the brown tannish color too. The whole thing works. It was working really well. So
It does. So if anyone's interested, I just went to the Mud Puddles website and there really isn't a whole lot there. He works out of his truck, is what it is. I mean, he has a day job, but all of his sand and adhesives and everything is in a truck that he goes from one convention to the next to the next. So if anyone is interested in sand, this little size sand can do quite a bit, I believe, quite a bit of those frames, but this is $7. I can't remember. This is the bigger of the two. The smaller 1 ounce is $11. So if you're interested in them, send me an email at cindy@artfulwebinars.com and I will hook you up with some. He's just hard to pin down, but but he's a lovely guy and I can hook you up with
okay.
some of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
All right.
Brenda says
Sounds
she's
good.
made seashell cards before and strips of sandpaper as well. Well, with strips of sandpaper. Cool. Can I erase
The other
after I
things. Yeah,
So,
sorry, I'm going to say I'm sure there's other things that people might have already in their stash or something that they
so,
could, you know,
so Connie says, can I erase after I penciled?
erase what?
What are you wanting to erase? Hopefully not the whole thing.
If you need to get into the transfer lines to get rid of some of those, when you erase that, like if you've got your, if you've got your pencil, your eraser pencil, and you go in there and you try to take some
Tracing
of that,
lines.
yeah, you'll take off the pencil too, and you'll have to reapply all that. But yes, you can go in there and dig around for a little bit. Sure.
So there you go. So
Yep.
thank you everybody for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed this piece and that you go and do it. And then you do, please post it in the group so we can all
Yeah.
ooh and ah over it. And also too, if you want any of this adhesive and or sand, let me know. Or I've also got sea glass and seashells. I actually, would you believe, I actually have a kit here.
With with the frame and everything too?
Yeah, it's got the
Oh.
frame, and I think we did it on suede board, didn't we?
We did give an option to do it on suede board with like
I've got your pattern packet here, and oh, look at you! You even have a prep surface.
buns off there too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then we had the you didn't use OMS tonight, did you?
I did. You must have been sleeping.
I must have been sleeping. I have a water pen so you can fill it with OMS. I've got your chalk pencil. I've got
No,
your
that's
sea
really
glass
good.
and seashells. And the only thing missing is a little bit of sand, and that's easy enough. I can add the sand in there. What do you say we raffle it off?
That sounds like a good idea.
So if you're interested in a kit, um, put, I don't know, in the comments, put kit please, and I will put all the names in a hat. Let's say I'll do it Monday. I'll give them the weekend
Oh,
to watch the
so
video.
right.
And if you want, say kit, please, I'll put it in all the names in a hat and I'll pull it. I'll do it on Facebook Live. I'll raffle it off, and whoever's name gets pulled up will
Oh,
win the kit,
that's fun.
please.
That's fun. Good.
Won't that be fun? Woo! One more thing gone out of my house.
Yeah, right. I know we're all in that.
Woo!
All in.
It's like I just got to get rid of this stuff, you know? Make room for new stuff.
Well,
So awesome
there's
people. I will put your name in a hat and actually on a wheel, and I will do a live,
okay.
say 7 o'clock Monday night. Does that sound like a good time?
It sounds great.
7
Sounds great.
p.m. Raffle wheel. I will put that out, and then this way here, anybody over the weekend who is watching the replay, you have an opportunity to win too. So put in kit please, and I will put your name on the wheel and we'll do a spin out. And obviously if you're not there Monday night, please come back and check it. And if you won, you're going to have to send me your mailing address so I can mail it to you. So
Right.
but don't do that in the comments. Do that as a private message so that we're not giving out your unfortunately giving out any of your private information to the universe, because yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah, exactly. All
So
right.
no, awesome.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's a great idea. A
So
little extra something.
yeah, so good luck everyone who's interested, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Like I said, thank you, Lydia, for sharing your talents with us once again, and we look forward to whenever the next one is. I don't even know if we
I'm not sure if we've got anything too much picked. I'm sort of thinking Mother's Day. I don't know. We've got some ideas, so
got to
we'll,
bring
we'll.
Itzy back.
Oh, does Issy have to come back?
Yeah, we haven't seen Itzy in a while.
He must be hiding.
I know. He got lost in the woods,
Guess so.
cooking marshmallows.
He's still hibernating or something.
Hey, spring's around the corner.
Hope
He's
so. Yeah.
got to come out and see a shadow or not, whatever that is. I never understood that.
We're getting our rodents all mixed up here. Yeah.
I know, but I never understood that.
I
I
know.
mean, 6 weeks of spring. Well, I understand. I saw a sign saying spring's around the corner. So come on out, Itzy, and let's play.
All right. We'll think about another itsy thing.
Anyways, if anyone
Right.
has any ideas for Lydia, go ahead and put those in the comments too, because she's always looking for
Oh, yeah. It's
inspiration.
always nice to, bat things around a bit.
There you go. So she can percolate your thoughts. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. I am still cold, but it'll get warmer eventually, maybe by July.
Careful
Take
what you
care.
wish for.
I know. Have a good
All right.
weekend, everyone.
Bye,
Bye
everyone. Thanks
now.
for coming. Thanks for coming.
And